All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about AI, but probably not in the way you're used to. Let's just, for a second, forget all the talk about robots and futuristic tech. We need to look at what's actually happening underneath all that. So think about this. Before you even woke up this morning, an algorithm decided which emails you saw first. Yup. Another one analyzed market demand and literally set the price for your morning coffee. And a third one, it scanned your resume to decide if it was even worth a human looking at. By the time your alarm went off, at least 23 of these automated systems had already made tiny decisions about your life. And here's the kicker, the most important part of all of this. You didn't feel a thing. It all just happened in the background, silently, invisibly. This is the new reality, right? This is the world we live in now. Decisions are being made about you, and often for you, without you even being in the room. And this is the part, this is the part I think almost everyone gets wrong. They hear the term AI and they immediately think it's this brand new thing, something the world has never seen before. But that's a huge misunderstanding of what's really going on. So here's the big reframe. AI isn't the thing, it's the vehicle. And what is it carrying? Something ancient. It's power. AI is just a new mask for it. It allows power, influence, control to move faster and more precisely than at any other point in all of human history. So let's really break that down, because we're not playing a new game here, not at all. It's the same old game of influence and control, just put on hyperdrive. Think about it like this. 1,000 years ago, a king shaped what you believed by controlling the priests. 50 years ago, a few big TV networks shaped the narrative by controlling the nightly news. But today, an algorithm shapes what you believe by learning exactly what makes you, personally, click and scroll and stay hooked. It's the same fundamental principle, just scaled down to the individual at an insane speed. And I think this is the perfect way to visualize it. Think of that influence, that power as water. Before AI, it was like a slow, dripping faucet. You could see it, you could manage it. But AI didn't invent the water. Oh no, it just took that faucet and cranked it open into a fire hydrant that's just bursting into the street. The sheer volume and force are on a completely different level now.
Okay, so to even begin to navigate this new reality, there are 3 fundamental laws you just have to understand. And these aren't just like suggestions. This is the physics of this new world. First law, power is never, ever static. It's always moving, like a current. And right now, that current is flowing toward the people who get how these AI systems work. And at the exact same time, it's draining away from those who don't. It's an active, constant transfer of power.
Second law, and this one is a little uncomfortable. Power hates a vacuum. If you start outsourcing your ability to think for yourself, your creativity, your decision-making, if you hand that over to an algorithm, that space doesn't just stay empty. Something else, the algorithm, moves right in and takes over that job for you.
And the third law, power compounds. It's kind of like a snowball rolling downhill. The people who are learning how to use these systems aren't just getting ahead, they're getting ahead faster every single day. So the gap between those in the know and those who aren't, it's not just growing, it's accelerating.
So that brings us to the most important part of this whole thing. It brings us to a choice that you personally have to make. Because in this new landscape, you are one of 2 things. You are either the target, where these systems are optimized to make decisions for you, to influence you, or you are the archer, the one using these tools to make your own decisions. And really, there's no middle ground here. The way you become the archer is by becoming what we call a mapmaker. Now, this has nothing to do with being a coder or an engineer. It's about learning to see the invisible, to see past the shiny tech and actually understand the hidden currents of power and influence that are flowing just beneath the surface. But you gotta be careful, because there's a trap here, and it's so subtle. It starts out innocently enough. AI is your helpful assistant. But then, pretty soon, it becomes a crutch, something you can't really function without. And then, before you even realize it's happened, it's doing the hard thinking for you, and your own critical thinking skills just fade away. Here's the good news, though, the really powerful part. Once you learn to see these dynamics, this flow of power, these little traps, the game being played, you can't go back. You can't unsee it. Your entire perspective just permanently shifts. So, in the end, it really just boils down to this.
There are two kinds of people emerging. There are those who understand the game, who see how power is flowing through all these new systems, and then there are the people the game plays, the ones the systems are built to optimize and influence.
So, you've just been handed the map. You can see the landscape in a totally new way now. The only real question left is, what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to go?